with tuition and tuition payments. And if students are done with their studies, we have what we call the career development service. Students can move to, or student can go to the admissions team and require for the career development services. There's a dedicated team that will take them through the options they have after studying, what they can look at, how they can progress from there. Of course, you are allowed to apply for the 2 year post study stay, but you can apply for it, you'll be granted the 2 year post study stay. But within that 2 years, what are the options that you can do? What are some of the things that you can do to make you progress beyond the 2 years post study stay? That is where the career development services comes in. They take you through what's best for your course, what's best for your career, how you can explore York or even the London campus to go beyond the 2 years stay. Of course, we know for us, the main goal for traveling or for studying there is to live beyond that, progress to getting the sponsorship visa or the work permit visa. So that is one thing York St. John prioritizes for each student. So we have a dedicated team called the Career Development Service. Students can go in there. Even during your studies, you can still engage their services so that by the time you complete, at least you have a fair idea of what you want and how you want to go about it. But most students prefer to finish when they has nothing on their hands to approach the career development and then take things from there. That is allowed as well. And so that is a brief about York St. John University. I will take some questions at this point. Any questions at all you would have, you can send them my way, and then I'll be more than happy to answer them for you and provide you with the relevant information that you would need.
Okay, thank you, Mr. John. I think this part has been quite useful. Folks, if you have questions, you can keep them coming. But, sir, you mentioned that, okay, Edwin, I think it would be best if you type the question. But you raise your hand, unmute yourself and talk.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Edwin.
I wanted to know if the university offers a top-up program for nurses with a diploma.
Yes, so we have a top up program option, but we have a top up program for nurses, but it depends on what your diploma degree is. So what the university does is they offer the top up on a case by case basis. So what that means is you send in your transcript or your documents, and then they evaluate it. If the evaluation meets the academic standard, then you can do the top up. If not, they would advise that you go or you start with a level 100 or start afresh from scratch.
So, please, I will require IELTS to enroll into your top-up program.
So for York St. John, students are not required to write the IELTS as long as students have a C6 and above in English at the Awasi stage. However, for nursing, because our nursing program is pre-registered with the UK nursing, you are required to write the IELTS either during your studies or before you graduate. So it's a necessary evil that if you have it now, it serves you well. But if you don't have it, you can still enroll in the with your studies. But at some point, you would have to write it.
One last one. Uh, if if being pre-registered, I mean that by the time you complete your course, you are straight, you are just being enrolled into the UKN.
Could you come again? I didn't get the question. Your line was a bit.
I'm saying that
Mhm.
since the course is pre-registered, doesn't mean that right after the course, you are being enrolled onto the UKN register.
No, so right after, whilst you are studying, because it's registered, so once when you're done with your studies, you are placed with a care institution or even a hospital to do sort of an internship. So before you are done with the internship, that is where you are being registered, depending on how you perform. So it's part of your curriculum. The internship you are doing is part of your curriculum. So by the time you complete, they will use that to go ahead with the registration if you qualify to be registered.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thank you for giving us the answers. So you mentioned that the York campus is where people who do the foundations, the undergrad programs and diplomas, that's where they study. Is that right, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
Because I heard the diplomas, I just wanted to be clear. Are there some diploma programs that your St. John's offers? I mean, if there are, what are they?
Okay, so we don't have diploma. What I meant by diploma is so for we have foundation years, we have the undergrad, and then we have international year one. So those are the options available. We don't offer diploma programs.
Okay. Can you please, for the purpose of clarity for all of us who have joined, differentiate between international year one and foundation?
Okay, so international year one are for uh, so the UK education system is such that before you can do a degree, a bachelor's degree, you need to have had at least 12-year um, senior education. So what that means for them is that what that means for us is that our WASI level, the WASI certificate, does not match up to their 12-year required duration for undergrad program. So what they do is that they have the foundation year. What that says, um, if you did your WASI and say you don't meet the grade requirement for the undergraduate program you want to go and study. Let's say someone wants to study business, and then the business requirement states that you need to have a 12-year senior high school education and have at least a B in that. Okay. Now, our WASI is not, first of all, WASI is not up to the 12-year they are requesting for. And let's say if you do the calculation on the student WASI results, you realize the student has like a C. Okay, so which means if you get to the academic level, they still don't meet what the school is requiring. That is where students are required to do foundation year. So the foundation year prepares them in English, first of all, and then attach some courses they will be studying at their undergrad level to give them the sort of a base knowledge onto what they are going to study. And the international year one is for those students that meet the academic requirements in terms of grade wise. The grade requirements, they meet it, but because they are going with WASI, they can't do the undergraduate. Um, they can't do the undergraduate straight away, so they have to do international year one. So the difference is that for foundation year, you are not giving certificates. You just have a transcript. Some institutions do have some certificate they give you, but it's not recognized as a certificate in the UK or anywhere else. Whereas the international year one is recognized as having studies, so you are given a certificate for that. So basically, that's the difference. One has a certificate, the other one doesn't. But the duration for both are the same. They are 6 months, almost 1 year. So it's a year program. But what happens is students that do that, you do that 1 year, and then you progress to do 2 years bachelor's education. So you end up going to your normal 3 year, and then you get your bachelor's education at the end.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarity. Um, Now, you also mentioned that the London campus is where the postgraduate students also are hosted. That's where they do their studies from. Does you also just have MRES programs?
Yes, we do. We do
Okay.
have we have MRS in management, MRS in psychology, artistics and linguistics, MRS in public health, and then MRS in education as well.
So, do all of these MRES programs allow dependents?
Yes, they do.
Okay. 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 And I suppose you are 2 years, right?
Yes. Yeah, they are
Okay.
two. They are 2 years. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now you mentioned something about accommodation
Mm-hmm.
being available for the students who are on the York campus. And
Yes.
you spoke about the fact that there's shared one, there are individual rooms that we can also get. Is there any idea about how much it costs? Is there any range that we can get?
Yeah. So the accommodation range from £125 to £170 per week. So
Okay.
this is for the fully owned university housing. So for the York campus, we have two separate housing or two accommodation. There are some that are fully owned by the university, and then there are others that are private. But partners, they are like twin owned. So the university owns half, and then there's a private institution that owns half. So the university owned, fully owned, is 125 to 170 per week, and students are allowed to book for that from 37 to 35 weeks. That should cover the duration of their course. And then for the university partner owned ones, that is 190 per week.
Okay. Thank you. And again, you also indicated that for those who are doing undergrad programs for their first year, when they have had admission, they will make a part payment of their tuition fee and then complete the rest before enrollment. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, please, that's
I
correct.
think that information is very, very important. So
Yes.
I don't know if you can reiterate on that. I think it's very important to our people, the payment
Yes.
plan, the payment plan
Sure.
clearly.
So for undergraduate programs or students going for undergraduate studies, the university allows students to pay half of their tuition fees here in Ghana. So the half would be £5,900. You pay that here in Ghana, the university will issue you with your pass. You can apply for visa and everything. If let's say you're able to do your application early, get your visa in time, you're allowed to travel 6 months. So that means you have a duration to go to the UK, get yourself ready. But before you enroll in your classes or before you start your classes, you need to pay the other half to make a full year tuition for the undergraduates. Moving on, the subsequent years, you would have three installment plan to make your yearly deposit or your yearly tuition fees deposit. And for the postgraduate students, when you pay the initial deposit of £5,900 and you enroll, you have three installment plan to pay the balance.
And thank you. And that three installment plan for the postgraduate students, I think I heard you say it must be done in the first semester. Is that right? Or
Yes, yes. So you should pay it before you finish your first semester. However, we understand students' challenges. So if you think you can't make the payment within the first semester, you'd have to you'd have to go to the finance team before the semester is up and then plead with them or make your case with them. They will give you a duration or they will extend the payment period for you to meet the deadline. But if you don't go to them before time is up, then you have no option than to make the year tuition before your start of the second semester.
okay, so somebody was asking, is there any scholarship?
Yes. So for York St. John, because our tuition fee is already low, the university do not offer scholarships. We have some scholarship scheme we run together, Study Now, together with York St. John, that we run on the yearly basis, but it's not how do I even put it? It's not from the university and it's not regularly. So we pick one outstanding student, then we take care of your first year tuition fee, then you go after that you are on your own. But the university does not offer scholarship. However, if you're able to secure some external scholarships, is accepted by the university.
Okay, thank you. I was about asking that one. If people were coming with, say, scholarship from some other private entity,
Yes, that
that
is
will.
accepted. The only scholarship that is not accepted is the Get Fund scholarship. That is not accepted by the university, but any private or government scholarship outside of the Ghana scholarship is accepted by by the university.
Okay, okay, all right. Thank you. So, somebody was asking which intakes are available. Okay, before I come to my other questions, so if you can
Yes,
elaborate on that.
so for York St. John, we have two intake. The major intake is the September intake, and then we have the January intake. As we speak now, our September intake is full for most of the courses. However, we have for most of the postgraduate courses, we have some option for the MRES, just two courses that are still available for MRES. And for undergrad, we have slots to open. So if students are looking at studying a postgrad at York St. John, the focus should be on the January intake.
Now, if I'm applying for an MRES program, in addition to all of the normal documents that I'm supposed to provide, am I supposed to add some thesis, some research paper, some research proposal, or something? Eh, Am I supposed to do that?
So that is course specific. Generally, you are not supposed to add any research proposal or thesis. However, there are some courses that the nature of the course demand that you get a research proposal to back that. So what happens is for those courses, when your students come in for that, we'll let the students do that. Okay, so I think is the education course. If a student is going in to study MRS education, the student will need to get a research proposal to back the other documents. And I think for public health as well, all the other MRS courses, students are not required to write any research proposal or thesis. You just need your personal statements. And the caveat is that a personal statement should be detailed, should go more into why you would want to study a Master of Research or an MRS program.
Do we have to pass a precast interview?
Yes, you do. So once student gets the offer, you make your tuition deposit. Once you get the offer, the university will send you an email asking you to register on the CAS short portal, and then you just go through the CAS short process. Once you are done with the CAS short process, you would take a precast interview, and then you would have to pass the precast interview before a CAS would be issued. However, if students do fail on the first attempt on their CAS interview, York St. John allows for a retake of the CAS interview. If student fails in three, there's some students are allowed to take up to three CAS interviews. So if you do fail on all three CAS interviews, the deposit paid will be refunded minus administrative charges, which is a 500 pounds.
So, how difficult or easy is it to pass this precast interview?
So what we do is, or what myself and my other colleague is, we prepare students before they take their precast interview. So we have sample questions that are the regular questions that they normally do ask. We share that with students. And before students take the CAS interview, we take them through it. So we arrange for sort of a mock interview with students and help guide their answers, correct them in areas that they need improving upon before they take the CAS interview. So I would say because of how we approach it, we hardly do get CAS refusals, but of course there are some that will still get refused because maybe the student is feeling tensed or is not able to um, articulate themselves better because of maybe the pressure or something. There are few students that, but when they do take it the second time, they pass. So I think we have a very high success rate in terms of CAS and visa as well.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Again, let's I know. Well, I don't know if you had a second part of it to give to us, or we can just ask all of our questions inclusive. So
Oh, yeah,
the
you can ask
program.
all your
Were
questions.
you going to do?
No, you
Sorry.
can go ahead and ask all your questions. After, if there is anything, I'll
Okay.
add to it.
Okay. All right. So I've had admission with York St. John's. I've paid my initial tuition deposit. A cash shield has been opened for me. Um, must I send my bank statements to the school for verification before a cash is issued for me, or once I just put in my details, it will be issued, and then UKVI will do the checking?
So the university does an initial bank verification first before, because what we do is we are trying our maximum best to reduce the number of visa refusals for our students. So when students upload their statements, we do our own bank verification with the bank they issue the statement from, or they got their statement from. So if the bank is able to verify it at the initial stage, then we are certain that there wouldn't be any problem, or there wouldn't be any refusal in relation to the bank statement or proof of funds specifically. We are good to go from that end. So in total, there are two verifications being done: one by the university before CAS is issued, and the other one by the UKVI when you apply for visa.
Okay, thank you for that one too. Now this question. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, sir. There is. I've heard that York St. John's University doesn't allow people to do their own visas as in applying for the visa. You have a visa team that strictly demands that when it gets to the visa part, we give our documents to you for you to do that. How true is it? If I decide that I'm going to do my own visas after you've verified my statement, is that not possible? Can
Yeah,
you?
so as I earlier said, because we are trying to reduce the visa refusal rate, some students will claim they can do it, but from past experiences, you realize that no, they are being refused the visa. And sometimes for UKVI, mostly before you refuse the visa, they will send the university the reason. So the university realized that some of them are just due to um, they not applying the visa properly. So yes, we do have a visa team that handles students' visa for them. So students do not worry about it. But if students insist or persist, most often we do allow them to do their own visa. But the normal practice is that we handle your visa for you. So in some cases, students do not even receive their CAS at the initial stage. Their CAS is sent to them after visa is applied. So we send their CAS together with their. So you get the email that you've passed your CAS interview, your CAS is ready and all, but the CAS is not issued to students because when a student gets the visa, they sometimes go ahead and just do the visa application themselves, and then sometimes you realize there are two applications in for a student. So most often, CAS is not issued to students on the go unless the student insists or persists that I want my CAS, I want to do my visa myself. Then at that point, we just send the CAS to the student and leave them to do their own visa.
Okay, thank you. So, well, please take this too. Somebody is asking how much is your fees, and another is asking, do you assist students in getting bank statements? You may want to answer them, and then I'll ask other questions.
Yeah, so our tuition fee is £11,800. That is the tuition fee for postgrad and undergraduate studies, £11,800. And for the question of bank statement, no, we do not assist students with getting their bank statement. So with that, I think Express Group would be the one to handle that. If not, students are encouraged to get their own bank statement.
Okay, that's great news. Please, I think some people joined quite a bit late. If you can still mention the intake times again. Somebody has sent me a private message asking that what the intake periods are. I think it's necessary for them, please. And then again, the a few of the courses that are very, very, do I say, if it is politics, I'll say your flashy program courses
Yeah.
that people can really apply to. That's very useful. If you can just mention a few of them for our people.
Okay, sure. So for the intake, the intakes available, York St. John have two main intakes, the September intake and then the January intake. For purposes of this discussion or for purposes of this year's intake, the September intake is full for postgraduate studies, but there are slots open for undergraduate studies. And so if student wants to go for postgraduate, they may not be able to go this year, sorry, unless the following year, which is the January 2026 intake. And for courses, um, for undergraduate, most of, or should I say, our top selling course happen to be our BSc in nursing, adult nursing, mental nursing, BSc in public health, and then the management courses, all of them are there. So business management, international business management, marketing, and human resource management. That happens to be one of the top courses that students go through the most. But we have courses in computer science, data analytics, psychology, LLB, that is law, and yeah, we have engineering as well. And for the postgrad, is human resource management again, medication, public health, and then psychology. That is our top selling courses. So that from Ghana, that is the courses that most students do go for. And of course, the Emirates options, that one cast across. So some students for the Emirates particularly, they just, oh, I want can I get Emirates in education? No, Emirates education is full. Okay, so what's Emirates program? So that one students are not really particular about it, but we go through your documents, um, taking into consideration your academic experience and then your professional experience as well. Then we're able to suggest a course that you need to take or you can take for that to happen. So those are a few or top seller courses that we have at York St. John University.
Okay, thank you. So please do deal with this for me. Gap, age, study gap. Um, what influence does it have on getting admission?
So study
So
gap.
for instance, I have somebody who is about 30 years, completed SHS somewhere in 2014, hasn't done any diploma, but has been working with some institutions and now intends to apply for a bachelor's program. How does that work? That gap and then the age. Does it have any effect on he getting admission or not?
So generally, it does not. The truth of the matter is, it does not. But I mostly advise students with such scenarios to either get something doing here. You can just apply for a diploma here and then you progress. But it does not have any bearing. So what the university does is, or what the admissions team does is that they would evaluate your application. Let's say such a student has the WASI, cuts across all courses. So from WASI, the student has been working. They take into consideration their work experience, how long they've worked, the field in which they've worked, and then the course they want to study. If it's the same or if it's in line with the course and students are able to explain themselves further in their personal statement. So most of in situations like that, the chances of the student getting admission depends on the personal statement. Okay, how well students are able to explain themselves or justify their situation in their personal statement, they are guaranteed admission. But it's on a case by case basis. So a student may get it, another student with the same scenario or the same situation may not get it because it varies. It depends on the admissions team, and there are lots of factors that goes into that. So I think the short answer would be that it does not. However, it's not guaranteed.
Thank you. May I take you back a little bit? You mentioned something about career development services, and that this will help probably students get placed or give them guidance into areas where possibly employment could become quite easy. I was asking, does that service come with its own charge, a
Um,
separate charge?
okay, so just to clarify what I said, the career service do not get students placed in any institution. That's one. They do not get students placed, and they do not guarantee them placement at any institution. What their purpose or what they serve to do is to guide students or help students know the UK system, especially the job market, so students are able to plan better and put themselves in a better position to get jobs or get employed in jobs, and they do not come at any separate charge. It's part of the university services they offer to students. So that is free, but the students would have to make themselves available for that service. So the student would have to walk to their offices or seek them out to employ their services in that regard.
Are you a Prodigy Finance partner institution?
This question, I get these questions a lot. No, we are not. We are actively trying to secure a partnership with them, but at the moment, we are not project financed.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Folks, please let's know if you have further questions. Let Mr. Jamna answer us on that, and then we will take his probably his closing remarks and whatever he wants to add up, so that we will be bringing this one in. So, sir, please carry on. If there's something you would want to share with us that we haven't asked about.
So I think what I would just would love to share is that students that are interested in studying in York St. John and interested in studying in the UK in general should be better prepared for the financial realities on the ground, because most students sometimes would come and then they have no idea of how things are. So students can just go on the York St. John website. Every information you would require is on there: courses, course requirements, anything, prospects after work, anything at all. So students too should do well to endeavor themselves and get knowledge in these options before they even start the process. And for York St. John's, our door is always open. I think we have about 60% of our population is made up of international students. And so with that in mind, 40% of the 60% is made up of West African students. That is Nigerians, Ghanaians, Kenyans, and the lot. So when students get there, they have a community they belong to. They have people they can relate with. So they are not in an island, so to speak. They have a community they can belong to. And so that's just it for me and for from us from York St. John University.
Thank you. The last one. What's the turnaround time after applying to you?
So if students' documentations are very accurate and there are no back and forth, get this, get that, get that, our turnaround time is 14 working days. Students should receive an offer within 14 working days. That is if their documents is up to date and well scanned. Everything is uploaded on the go. 14 working days. There are delays sometimes, but on an average, it's 14 working days.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, let me see if there are
Yeah,
questions
I
that
think one.
we.
Sorry, Mr. Ebenezer. I think one guy asked the question. Michael, and I know who also asked. I went to a technical school and I want to study and work in the UK. Yes. So when you say technical school, I'm guessing that is high school. So with that, it still takes precedence with what the WASI people are supposed to do. What you do is you would apply for an undergraduate program, and with that, we will add the foundation to it for you. So you do foundation, then you progress to do your bachelor's program in the field that you require to do or you want to study in. And then for work, students are allowed to work 20 hours per week. That is allowed by the UKVI. So students are allowed to work 20 hours per week, even as they study. So long as you don't violate that, you are good to go and then you are able to work whilst you study.
Okay, and someone is asking if they can start January applications now.
Yes, so our January applications are currently open, so students can put in the application. However, there are delays in issuing the admissions now because the team is currently focused on the September intake, getting students through their visa process and the CAS process. So students can start the application now. They will get a confirmation email for admissions, but they should expect their offers to be in around August.
So someone sent me a message and said that if he applies to the university, gets admission, gets his visa, and gets to the UK, is there a team that will meet him at the airport?
Yes, that can be arranged. So if student what we do is before students enroll, we create a WhatsApp group for students that students are able to sort of put their date they are enrolling on the time they are getting to the UK. So if we have a large number, what we do is we mostly advise students on that WhatsApp page that you should be around by this date for the open day session and all. When the students that are able to get on the UK around that time, their team to meet them at the airports to take them. For students that are not able to be there at a set time, they would have to request that service.
Okay, thank you. David Kobner, please ask your question.
Yeah, please, are there scholarship opportunities for the university from the university?
No, the university does not offer scholarship opportunities, but if you're able to secure some scholarships for yourself, it's accepted by the university.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I always say the last one, but take this one too.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody asked earlier on if they had top up. I think the person specifically was dealing with lesson, right? If somebody has an HND, maybe in business, in some other field, can they also get top up programs?
So what I would say to that is on a case by case basis again. So generally, the HND students are supposed to start all over again. However, there are some courses that they are flexible with their admission requirements. So it's on a case by case basis. Some departments will allow for students to do the top up. There are other departments that will just allow students to start all over. So it's not guaranteed. It's on case by case basis.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Abdul, any other question for Mrs. Jamina before we leave him to go? If there is any question, please do ask now. All right, so I suppose we are okay. I've really had a good time taking some good information from you, sir. Your final words to us, and then we will be closing this session.
Right. So I just want to say thank you to Express Group for having me on this webinar, and thank you to everyone for joining. It was a very interactive session. I enjoyed myself. I hope to get some admissions in for the January intake. Thank you once again for joining us.
Sure. Thank you, sir. We're grateful. Our regards to Ms. Linda for making this possible. Thank you for joining. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is where we bring this session to a close. We surely will have another interactive session with York St. John's a bit later on, maybe in the year or in the early part of 2026. So we could get a lot of clarity with them. Thank
Yeah.
you for joining.
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. Beneza, sorry, just to add, sorry, my escaped me, I forget. So yes, with what you said on having another interactive session with us, our doors are always open for that. But just to add, we have a student fair coming off on the October, that is 17th of October. So students should be there. We have team coming in from the admissions team themselves from the UK to come and interact with students and give students so courses, questions like the HND, whether or not you'll be able to get into the undergraduate program or get into the top up, those questions will be better explained by the admissions team. So students can endeavor to be present there. The agents are also welcome to be there as well because it will be an information session. So agents can just come, absorb whatever they have to share, and then we take it from there. So that was I just wanted to add that.
Where is it happening, please? The venue, date, time.
So it's happening on the 17th of October, and it's happening at Kempinski Hotel. The venue is liable to change, but for now, it's happening at the Kempinski Hotel from 10
Must
a.m.
we
to
register
4
first?
p.m.
Must we
Yes, but
register first before we come for the event? Oh,
yes, students must register, but registration is free. We'll send a link out to students where students can register online before they come in. But registration is free of charge, and we'll be issuing on-spot admissions as well. So student can just bear that in mind, and then endeavor to be there.
all right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for this information. Very useful to all of us. Um, I'm sure that a lot of our students will be there, and we will be there. We will also be there to,
Yes,
to, to get a lot of information.
I hope to see you there.
Yes, yes, we will. We will be there. We will rest there. Okay, so thank you, Mr. for joining. We hope to meet again. Surely we'll meet with your St. John's again, and we'll get a lot more of the information from them. Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We hope to see you some other time. Have a
Thank you
great
for having me.
weekend.
Have a great
All right.